Welcome, everybody, to Give Us the Launch Codes. No, I will not draw attention to what Tom is drinking since he's still on Lent. Welcome, everybody. Uh, Happy to have you all here. I don't know about you, Tom. I'm actually really excited to talk about this one. Maybe because it's an excuse to not talk about war.
Oh, you mean how the death toll of schoolgirls is now almost 200? How how a Marine got his arm broken for speaking
Ugh.
up and all that stuff. Yeah, no, let's talk domestic. Oh wait.
Yeah. Now, this should also fill me with dread because just the idea of like, you know, all of Hollywood is soon going to be effectively owned by what, like three, like the same five guys or whatever.
Five guys.
But
That's optimistic. It's going to be just two dudes soon.
yeah, so obviously what we're talking about is the announcement that Paramount Skydance is going to fully acquire Warner Brothers, two big storied Hollywood studios merging together and making it to where there's basically it used to be the big five and now it's going to be the big four, assuming all goes according to David Ellison's plan. I decided I wanted to have fun with this and I wanted to kind of take us down a little trip through history. Because, to quote the Talking Heads, you may ask yourself, how did I get here?
And the water hole made down into the blue. Remember that movie we saw, the re-release of Stop Making
Yeah,
Sense? That was awesome.
that's a, Jonathan. Well, I don't watch a lot of concert movies, but yeah, I did want to get out of my seat for that movie. I was like in it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
Stop
the
Making
same.
Sense is a great concert movie.
Yeah, it's the same cinematographer for Silence of the Lambs we were talking about. Where I noticed, I'm like, "Hey, why does this look like Silence of the Lambs?" And you're like, "Tom is the same cinematographer." And I'm like,
It's the
"Oh,
same
damn!"
director.
Oh, director. That was the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
director. I'm
the
like,
late Jonathan Demme.
I was like, why does this feel like Silence of the Lambs? Like, it's because it's the same guy.
It's the same.
There were some horror shots where I was like, "God damn!" Yeah, but before you start on your history thing, if you don't mind me asking, for the people who aren't as aware as you and me about Hollywood and studios, who were the big five? So people can see how small it's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the big five, the big six, the big seven. So the big five refers to Disney, obviously. Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Sony, and um, Universal. Universal. How could I forget Universal? Those are the big five. Now, there's others. You could argue, I mean, you could argue like Amazon, which just recently bought MGM, that they should be in there. Netflix definitely wanted to be in there if this showed anything. Um, and
Hmm.
then you got smaller stuff like Lionsgate and A24,
Right.
stuff like that. But really, like,
But
the big five, I mean, you could say big six because 20th Century Fox used to be its own thing, but then Disney bought that. Um,
yeah, then that happened when we were in college, huh? That was after high school, right?
yes, I was an undergrad when that
Yeah,
happened, and
insane.
that was a huge deal.
Isn't it crazy how also too, like I'm glad because you're going to go into the history of this right now,
Mhm.
but for people to realize too that yeah, Amazon bought MGM, like that's a big
Yes,
name. That was a big name.
yes, and
It's not a joke. There's a damn hotel named after the fucking company.
um, yeah, because like MGM used to be considered. I mean, I guess that would, if it was the big seven, MGM would be the seventh one because
Hmm.
they used to be. Yeah,
Yep.
they were a big hit maker, a big a big Hollywood hit maker, and then they just kind of fell on hard times, and then it was only a matter of time before someone bet them out. Sadly,
And hey, that Amazon money.
yeah. And
Shoot.
Amazon was like, "Hey, we'll take you on. We could use your library."
Hell, and to speak of another smaller company, which is not a small company, they're a big company. Apple's trying to get into it too still. They're still doing stuff, more TV
Yes.
shows, sure, but they hit some movies. They're going for it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Um,
shall we open up our history books and take out a pen and paper?
yeah. I'll start with going over kind of the history of Paramount, and then I'll do Warner Brothers, and then I'll do Skydance slash the Ellison family, and then we'll talk about like the actual merger. I will say
Okay.
I'll this is like, very broad strokes type stuff. I tried to make that broad strokes, but like, there's so much cool stuff in there going back that I wanted to talk about. I was like, that's too in the weeds. But so we'll start with Paramount. Paramount is the sixth oldest film studio in the world and the second oldest behind Universal. Universal beats it by a couple months.
Wow, just by months.
Yeah, it was founded. It officially dates its founding. Oh, and here's another fun fact about Paramount. It is the only film studio, like in terms of company, like company that full on produces and distributes movies. It is the only one that is still based in Hollywood. Because I don't know
Really?
if you know this,
Oh, a lot moved out,
Hollywood
huh?
is a place. It's not just a vibe. It's not just an industry term. Hollywood is an actual place. It's
It's
literally a
physical,
neighborhood
yeah.
in Los Angeles.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Because like Warner Brothers is in Burbank. Universal is, well, Universal City. Um, Sony's in Culver City,
Yes. Culver's,
and
yeah.
I mean
You know,
MGM.
Hollywood has streets. They have literally streets.
Yeah, they have neighborhood. It's like New York. Like New York has like Brooklyn and Staten Island and Manhattan. It's like that. Like Hollywood is like that.
Yeah.
And Paramount is the only one still headquartered there.
Everyone else moved out, huh? Everyone went
Everyone
like,
else is that, or everyone else is just like either moved out, or if they did have property in Hollywood, they sold it. Probably sold it to Paramount. I mean, the property. Like, have you ever been? First of all, have you ever done a studio tour before?
done
Never
warehouse.
once.
I've done warehouse tours. I did a warehouse tour for In-N-Out when I worked there. That was cool. That's the most I've ever done, love behind the scenes.
If you're ever in Los Angeles, or if you're ever in Southern California, if you're ever visiting, I mean, I'm not talking to you, Tom. You obviously live here, but actually, no. But like, okay, but like, this could be a fun opportunity. It's like maybe your
Oh,
kids
yeah.
would want to see this. Like, take your kids to a studio tour, because
Yeah.
Warner Brothers does them, Paramount does them, Sony does them. I've done it. I mean, I've done a couple of work on film sets, so I've kind of taken like not tours, but just like I have to go to this certain location. I guess I got to walk through the lot. Now you might think like most people would think of the studio tour that Universal does. That's kind of more of a ride. I mean, you do learn some things, but they have some like flashy things, like you go through the King Kong 360 or
Oh,
the Fast
yeah.
and Furious.
Okay.
Like, but if you want to, if you're like genuine, I wouldn't recommend doing that if you're like sincerely interested. I would recommend more like the Warner Brothers or the Paramount or the where you're like actually walking through the lot, or maybe you're
Yeah.
driving in a car. But um, like I did that. I once took a tour for Sony, and at one point, the tour guides they took us inside the soundstage for like we actually got to go inside a couple of sound stages. I know like the other tours, they'll do that. They'll actually
Hmm.
like take you. In this case, I got to see the set for Jeopardy. It's back when Alex Trebek was still alive. And then I actually got to learn how Foley sound works.
Okay.
So it's like a lot of the sounds you hear in movies are not the sounds that were
No.
on the set. They were
No,
recorded
yeah, yeah,
later.
yeah, yeah.
And at first I thought we just walked in a junk closet, but really it was like, no. These are all these items are in the specific place for a reason. It's all these things that they can take to like make noises. Anyway, highly that is my recommendation if you want to learn more about if you want to like come to LA to like experience what the movie business a little. Don't do the Universal tour. Do the Warner, Paramount, Sony, any of those. I think those are more informative. I think you'll actually like it's educational, but I think the education is like it's gonna like reveal more of the magic to you than you realize. So I highly recommend that. And but anyway, yeah, we went there. We went there from talking about Paramount still being in Hollywood. Um, it dates its founding to 1912, but there's a caveat to that because 1912 is actually it actually like was from three companies.
Okay.
Merge. So we're already starting with mergers off the bat. So in 1912, Adolf Zucker founded a company called Famous Players Film Company. Remember that name, Adolf Zucker. At the same time, a guy named Jesse L. Lasky founded the Jesse L. Lasky Feature Play Company. And then in 1914, a man named William Wadsworth Hodgkinson, it's quite a name, founded a company called Progressive Pictures, which he then later quickly renamed to Paramount Pictures Corporation. And Paramount Pictures Corporation actually had some distribution, like he could actually put movies in theaters. So like
Yeah, yeah.
Hodgkinson's company signed a deal with Lasky and Zucker's company to like distribute movies for a bit. And this is like this again, this is the silent era. Sound in movies is not invented. The idea of movies as a business was like it was like a cottage industry. It wasn't the thing it was today. It was still kind of new.
Yeah.
And it, like multiplexes didn't exist yet. So it's like, you just went to like the downtown theater that had one screen and the theater is like massive, like you're watching a stage play. Uh 1916, Lasky and Famous Players and Paramount merged together to just be Paramount Pictures. They finally combined their. It's like let's just be one company, guys. And Adolf Zucker would become the chief executive of the company.
Okay.
And Zucker would expand, not just sort of the output of like film production massively, but he would also expand like the ownership of theaters
Right.
because at that time movie studios owned movie theaters. Tom, have you ever been to? Well, let me rephrase that. You have been. I know you've been to Fullerton. Like very close to Fullerton College, there's a place called the Fox Theater.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's called the Fox Theater?
Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, no, because that studio that theater used to be owned by the Fox Film
Fox. Yeah. No,
Corporation.
yeah. I remember. Yeah. They used to own theaters.
Um,
Yeah.
So if you ever live in a city and you have a theater that's like either called the Fox Theater or the Paramount Theater, and it's like some historical location that's still in
There's a
operation,
reason.
yeah, there's a reason why it had that name. It's because movie theaters used to be owned by studios a lot. Um, Fun fact, so yeah, Zucker is like running the company. He basically runs
Right.
it
Yeah.
till like he can't. He retires in 1959 from running Paramount. And in 1964, he received the title of Chairman Emeritus, which didn't mean he did anything, but he was like, it's kind of like he got the gold pass to just kind of walk. I'm sure if he wanted to like drop by the lot, they just let him. Oh, of course, Mr. Zucker, Mr. Chairman, come on in.
It's like calling like I am Emperor Supreme and he is Emperor Commander. There is a hierarchy.
Yeah, well, it's like if you have like a crown prince or a prince regent, like you still have
Yeah.
a king, but the king's not doing anything. He's just,
Oh, so yeah. He's chilling out while the hand does it all.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
That's awesome. God.
Uh, couple of fun tidbits I found. 1929, Paramount Pictures made a movie called Wings. Actually, no, they made it in 1927.
You're right.
But in 1929, it became the first movie it was the inaugural winner of the Oscar for Best Picture. And if you've ever seen Wings, I've seen it. It's a silent movie, but it's a World War One dogfighting movie. And I don't know if the special effects were up to snuff back then, but they were definitely flying real airplanes in that movie. Like they
Yeah.
did the thing that Chris Nolan did in Dunkirk with Tom Hardy, where it's like, oh, we're gonna stick a camera, you're in the cockpit, and you're actually gonna be in the plane flying around. And they like
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan was going real old school with that because they were doing that in the 20s. And it's actually like it's actually when they're not doing the romance plot, which is like like Pearl Harbor level kind of melodrama from what I remember. I haven't seen it in a
Yeah.
while, but I clearly put a lot of that out of my mind. It's the dogfights that I
Yeah.
remember, and I'm like, damn, this is.
Wasn't it the movie within the movie with Aviation starring Leonardo DiCaprio?
Oh, it might have been The
Because remember,
Aviator.
yeah, The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's playing most historical American ever. Who was he playing again? That
Howard Hughes.
Howard Hughes. Yeah, Howard Hughes. The dog fighting thing about like there's clouds. We need clouds.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It might have been.
Might have been
I'm,
that, but yeah,
no, it's a different movie.
different
I'm
movie
looking this up. It's a different movie that was
in the
still a
movie.
real movie that was made, but it was a different movie depicted in The Aviator.
But anyway, okay, so Wings, the first to ever win an Oscar for Best Picture. I remember
Yeah,
you know what? I watched the behind the scenes of the Oscars once, a documentary, and they showed footage of the first ever Oscars, and it was like we didn't know what we do, so it was just literally invitation only because you were invited if you won. So it was like a small group of maybe I think 60 people like at that
yeah,
ceremony. Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
so
That
so
you already
small.
knew. Yeah,
You
you already
came
knew if you
in.
won.
Yeah, but it was like tiny, tiny. And so the next year, like, all right, now we gotta change that. We gotta like make it a guess.
Well, it was a ploy by the movie studios to like get to kind of fight labor organizing. They like they you know because I mean didn't really work all that well. Like almost like every job at Hollywood now is you know union. But you know, it was kind of coming up as
They
Hollywood was as the film industry was getting bigger, organized labor was starting to become a bit of a talk of the town, and it was a ploy to try to
get people, yeah.
squash that, distract from that, as like, you know, celebrate the individual artistry of filmmaking, which I think has its own value in and of itself. Even if
Hmm.
I haven't watched the Oscars in a while. That's right. The Oscars aren't they like 2 weeks? Aren't they like a week or now so from
From time
now?
of recording here, because we're recording on the 7th, so I think it's next weekend.
Yeah, that's weird.
It
Okay.
is award ceremony. It's coming to an end, and have you noticed that because of what's going on in the world in America, no one really gives a shit. I
Also,
don't
like,
think it's that
also like
award.
they're doing the Oscars in March.
Yeah, at the end of March.
The
I think it's the next weekend, or it's
fuck
the
took them so long?
because there's more awards now, and more awards have gotten more bolster and now
Oh my God.
ratings. Oh yeah, no, the like remember how it was just really Golden Globes, SAG, sometime the critics, but it was this Golden Globes, SAG, and then you got the Oscars. Now it's like Golden Globes, SAG, Critics Award, Movie Award, Film Award, something
NFL
else award.
playoffs
Yeah,
because they got to do it on a
The
Sunday.
BAFTAs now are a factor in here. This is a factor. This is a factor. There's like an award show every weekend starting in January all the way until the Oscars now. So it's like it's the way how remember how Super Bowl was at the end of January for a long time.
Yep. And then
Now
they
it's
did Super
mid
Wild Card.
yeah, now it's in middle February. Like it's just it was good when you look at the whole thing history of award shows and you keep adding another one for like very niche specific things every damn year. It's going to take longer and longer to get through it because it's like it becomes more
Mhm.
popular. An actor maybe fights for it more. It's like, well, I got this award at, you know, the South SoCal artists, you know, fucking whoever. It's like then it's going to mean something after a while, and then in 5 years of its existence,
The Boise International Film Festival.
yeah, no, it's true.
I just made that up. I don't think that's a real thing.
But the thing is, like I've noticed, like it's every weekend there's an award ceremony right now. It's like, oh my God, no one gives a shit. Like
Yeah.
no one gives a shit so much because we're at war. But yeah, going back to it.
Yeah, also something to note about 1929, Paramount decided to buy shares in CBS back when CBS was just a radio service.
All
It would
started.
later sell them off 3 years later, but just throwing that in there, a little foreshadowing about how the CBS network will play into this. Um, so we're going to fast forward all the way to the 1950s now, or close to the 1950s. World War II happened, came and went, and so did the Great Depression. This is when the film industry takes a huge hit. The 50s were not a good decade for this industry. And it began in 1948 with a Supreme Court case called United States versus Paramount Pictures.
Okay.
Now, this didn't just affect Paramount Pictures. This affected the entire industry. But this is the Supreme Court case that ruled that film studios could no longer own movie theaters.
Yep, that's right. This is where it started to like, yep,
Yeah, the
started to
Paramount,
really hack down.
yeah, the Paramount case, as people call it, like, yeah, that this is back when America cared about antitrust. Good times. You know how much times are different. The Supreme Court overturned this ruling in 2020.
Wow.
because the Trump DOJ under William Barr was like, can we get rid of this decree now? We don't need this anymore, do we? And maybe in fairness, they were right. Or let me rephrase that. Maybe like the impact of the Paramount decision has is like so solid that like it doesn't really matter now as much as it did. Like movie theaters are dying, and the movie theaters are owned by like these big chains like Regal and Cinemark and AMC.
Hmm.
And like
Hmm.
the business is so different. I just don't see how, I mean the streaming services are like the modern day equivalent of the studio owns the movie theater. Like that's that now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was big. Um, the 1950s, you also had the Red Scare, which led to the Hollywood blacklist. So you had a bit of a talent drain, or at least the talent was being scared of doing something, radical or subversive.
A good
Um,
movie for people to get an idea of the Red Scare in the 50s. It was those of that Trumbo movie with
yeah,
Bryan Cranston. Good little
yeah,
taste of Hollywood of what it was going through. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, folks. John Wayne was an asshole. Like you can
yeah,
like his movies you want, but he was a draft dodger asshole.
yeah. The last thing I wanted to mention as to what hurt the film industry for this time, the feature film industry, that is, television.
Yep.
Everybody had a TV. So suddenly
Right after the
there
war,
was,
basically.
because, I mean, just imagine. It's hard to imagine this now, but it's like when you didn't have television and you didn't have, I mean, what did you have for like going out entertainment? You had a live theater, you had movies at the one screen downtown theater you had.
And
So
remember, movies were a day thing. Like a nickel to 10 cents. You spent the day watching newsreels, cartoons, and then a double feature.
yeah,
Like Who Framed Roger Rabbit's the perfect case of that, where it's like kids who were like not going to school or couldn't afford to go to school or just, got to get them out of the house while mom and dad work. They were at there like the whole day. Like 10 cents got you literally a days of entertainment. And it
yeah,
was.
and like also like movies, movies would travel. There wasn't this like idea of like the opening weekend. There's
No,
nowadays there's so much emphasis because like all the movie is coming out everywhere on the same weekend, and so the
fire
worldwide opening
tickets.
weekend box office, that wasn't a thing. It was like the movie would
No.
open in the big cities like New York and Los Angeles, and then maybe like 8 months later, like the movie will finally travel to your city, your
Yeah.
smaller city. It's like, oh,
To,
I've heard
hey,
some
hey, to Boise.
to Boise, yes. If a movie came out in January in New York and LA, you wouldn't get it in Boise until like fucking September.
Well,
Something
it
like
shows you
that.
that how the introduction of the TV changed so much because, like you said, what did you do if you wanted to get out? Well, you had the radio at home. There was live concerts. There was, the club bands, the bar bands, all that stuff. Or the big band nights, like kind of like how the opening of the
Hmm.
Green Book starts
Yeah.
with like it's just a regular night. Then you had opera, theater, or the big one whole day at the long movies, or you just walked around and just shenanigans.
Yeah.
And then the TV introduction of the TV, the perfect example to show how it was changing. Watch the last episode of The Pacific when they're finally talking about TVs.
Hmm.
Like it's like what 400, 500 a pop for this small ass heavy small screen but heavy box,
Yeah.
and you had like two channels. Three channels. Like no, that when your grand when you, if anyone whose grandparents are still alive and you hear the joke of like back then we had four channels, that's not a joke. Like you
No, it's
literally,
not.
literally you had four damn channels.
At best, as time went on, you had like the three main networks, CBS, NBC, ABC, and then you had a bunch of UHF channels
Yeah,
that
like
aired.
your local broadcasting channels. Yeah,
Yeah, and they aired like reruns. Maybe they would air movies.
and then the
Um,
random weird stuff that really was the
Bozo the Clown.
groundwork. Yeah, that was the groundwork for like avant-garde stuff and
Yeah.
oddball shit. Yeah, like it's insane when you think about literally it was just a click and up, 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 click. That's it. Two buttons.
Yeah. But
Okay, so we're
yeah.
back to the 50s, the Red Scare
Yeah, so like
TVs.
TV and for a while, yeah, so the film studios kind of viewed TV as a competitor to their business.
Yeah.
And eventually, one way or another, the message came through, we can't beat them, join them. Um, Something else to note, TV networks were producing their own stuff. It wasn't their TV shows were not like scripted television wasn't being made by like I mean some of them were being made by like outside production companies that weren't owned by like the big three networks, but like Twilight Zone aired on CBS and it was produced by CBS. Same thing with Gunsmoke, aired on CBS, produced by CBS. I'll get to those examples later. Keep those in mind.
I was just
Um,
watching the Twilight Zone 2 right now, like a few hours ago.
uh, nice. Um, I know a lot of what I know about Paramount is because I love Star Trek and Star Trek is like a big Paramount property. So like you watch so much Star. I mean, it's been around for 60 years. So like Star Trek, the trajectory of Star Trek kind of tells
Hmm.
a story of like the history of Paramount in and of itself.
Yeah, because it was
And
it's
with
the no matter what you want to say about Star Trek, it's probably one of the top five biggest cultural pop culture impacts of America to the world.
yeah,
You cannot
and
ignore Star Trek.
and so with that we're gonna sidetrack a little just for a second and talk about the first studio that made Star Trek, which was not Paramount. It was Desilu Studios. Do you know what Desilu stands for?
Oh God, what? I'm gonna laugh so hard, aren't I?
Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball.
That's
It
right.
was the
That's right.
studio
No, Lucille
behind
Ball
I
took a.
Love Lucy.
She was the one who took the chance on Star Trek and saw something in it.
Yep, yep. And yeah, so like I mean she like made money off of I Love
That's
Lucy,
right.
but business was kind of drying up for Desilu when you get to the mid 60s. And so, she took a chance on this science fiction adventure show made by Gene Roddenberry, Star Trek. Okay, we'll pitch that to the networks. And then this spy thriller collaboration show, Mission Impossible. Let's pitch that around.
It
An
might work,
action.
right? Mission
Yeah,
Impossible is
let's
a.
give that
It,
let's
it,
give
it,
that
it
a
might
try.
work. Who
This
knows?
action detective show called Mannix, which nobody this generation remembers, but
No,
apparently it
no,
was a
no.
hit. But it was a hit for the time. These shows got eventually these shows got greenlit, but they were all like very expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
And
When you look at just the pilot of Star Trek, holy
oh
crap,
yeah,
that's a
and
Hail Mary pass.
and if you watch like old Mission Impossibles, like
Yeah,
the actual TV show Mission
yeah.
Impossible, not the Tom Cruise
And
crap,
like the
like
first season or two, like you're like,
yeah,
oh, man,
they
they're
did
throwing.
some pretty ambitious, like for 60s television, they said some pretty ambitious and expensive producing for that
Oh,
show.
Hail Mary passes, man.
So bring that up. So we're gonna leave off Lucille Ball struggling with bankruptcy because her TV shows are fucking expensive.
Vija
We're gonna
Vehemente.
we're gonna go back to Paramount, which is like actually across the street from Desilu Studios at the time. Nowadays, that space is just part of Paramount now. But 1966, Paramount struggling as well as the rest of Hollywood. And Hollywood is they're facing kind of an epidemic where just kind of like random companies would buy studios
Hmm.
just for almost like for vanity purposes. Like I don't know if this is this time, but I remember I know at some point Columbia Pictures used to be owned by Coca-Cola before they got bought by Sony. Because Coca-Cola is like, why not? We own a studio. One of the biggest companies in the world. Let's own a film studio.
We had
And
to
that
get the
was
cocaine out of our drinks. We need something.
so Paramount got bought up by a company called Gulf and Western, which is
Yep,
owned by this industrialist guy named Charles Bloodhorn. Great last name.
that's a good
Um,
last name.
yeah, Gulf and Western was a conglomerate that just owned random shit.
Sorry,
It,
can I say something? I'm sorry. Can you
yeah,
imagine?
yeah.
You know how in high school girls and like actually now any single lady will joke about like, oh, how would I like my last name being this? Like Ashley blank, Sarah blank, blah. It's like I don't know. How do you think about it, girl? Your last name won't be Bloodhorn. You're good. You marry this fool. Your last name is Bloodhorn. Trust me. It's a step up from Smith.
Uh, so
Sorry, I had to say that. Okay, keep going. Sorry, that's made me
Western.
laugh.
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, Charles Blunthorn started owning a company that made car parts
Yeah,
for
okay.
like in Michigan. And then he's just like acquiring other shit like, "Oh, I'll buy some farms. I'll buy some coffee bean plantations. You know what? I'm gonna buy a company that manufactures caskets.
Oh,
Um,
his last
later
name's Bloodhorn.
later on, he bought. The Gulf and Western used to own Sega. They sold it in '84, but they used to own fucking Sega.
Oh God, that guy's a genius for
Wait,
buying what he
they
finds.
sold it in 18, so which makes me, it's like, okay, they sold it in 1984, so that means, was Bloodhorn alive when Sonic the Hedgehog was created? I don't know the timeline of Sonic. It could be off, but
Hey,
like,
hey, what if Dr. Egghead is based off of him?
and yeah, they own that. They tour guide companies. They own Simon and Schuster, one of the big, like, we're using the term big five. Simon Schuster is one of the big five when it comes to English language publishing,
Oh
along with
God,
Penguin Random House, HarperCollins,
this.
Hachette, or is it Hachette? I forget what it's called, and Macmillan. So like Simon Schuster, the Simon and Schuster. Yeah, I'll own that too. Oh, just why not? Oh,
Hey,
I'll buy a film studio. Oh,
when
that,
your
because that'd be awesome.
last name's Bloodhorn, man, you're buying everything.
So then, yeah, and then that leads to 1967. Lucille Ball caves, sells Desilu to Gulf and Western.
Yeah,
Paramount doesn't have a TV division, so they just renamed Desilu to Paramount Television. And
yeah.
then bam, Star Trek's owned by Star Trek and
Paramount.
Mission Impossible are Paramount properties. Um, Meanwhile, over at CBS, just going to sidetrack this for a second. PBS or CBS, what am I talking about? PBS, CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. They have
No,
to,
Travis, we must remind PBS is still there.
yeah,
PBS exists.
yeah.
No, but okay,
Different
CBS.
conversation. CBS
Yeah.
spins off a new company called Viacom because the
Oh,
Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, again, back when we still cared about antitrust, the FCC passed a decree that TV networks can no longer produce their own stuff. Wow, what a different time that was. It's how times have changed. Um,
oh God.
so like all of CBS's, so like that before then, so like CBS was making money not just off of the fact that they made The Twilight Zone and that they aired The Twilight Zone and that they made and aired Gunsmoke, but they sold those shows into syndication, making money off of reruns. That which they used to say that's where the real money in television was. It wasn't just when you first aired the damn thing, it's when you produced enough episodes to rerun it somewhere else. So CBS was making boatloads of money, and that's why the FCC clamped down on that. Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, there's something wrong.
That's
No,
fucked
yeah.
up. That ain't right. So yeah, so that means they moved like their own stuff. So I'm gonna use Twilight Zone and Gunsmoke. They moved it to excuse me, Viacom.
Viacom. Yeah,
Viacom is
became
like,
them.
okay, you do your own thing and be your own company. You make the money off the reruns. And boy, did Viacom make a lot of money.
No, really.
So much they're like, hey, we got all this money. What if we could be our own media conglomerate? We'll come back to them later. 1983, Charles Bloodhorn
Oh, we
dies.
just skip a decade or two,
You
like a
know, we
decade and a
skipped a
half.
decade, and it was you know what? The 70s were a great decade for Paramount. They had a lot of hit sitcoms like Laverne and Shirley and Happy
Mhm.
Days.
Oh, dude, Happy
Their film
Days.
studio was thriving with The Godfather. Of course, that was the decade of The Godfather. Basically when Barry Diller was running the fucking studio. It was
Hey,
great.
you know that Godfather mini series about the making of that does show a lot of like inside of how the Hollywood studio worked. Watch that too, folks. It's like,
Yeah. The
oh damn,
Offer on
the
Paramount
offer.
Plus.
Ah, it's really good.
And oh, actually, if you watch The Offer and there's like some sort of scene, I haven't watched it, but if
Oh
there's some sort of
man.
scene taking place in New York, you might see me in the background. I think I was like trying to fix a motorcycle or something.
No way. I'm gonna rewatch it
I
again.
was doing something. Because I did background for that for a
That's
day,
awesome. I'm
and
gonna check that out.
Miles Teller is like I think he's like calling someone on the phone, like on a payphone,
Yeah, payphone. And yeah.
and
I'll check that out again because I really like the offer. And people
I don't
we're being
remember what I wore, but
and
I am in there.
but like we said, folks, check out the offer. You know, there's certain TV shows and movies from the last just 10 years have shown a lot of behind the scenes of what it was like in the studios back then. Like Hail Caesar's one of them. That
Hmm.
Lucille Ball Amazon TV miniseries is one of them.
Hmm.
It shows, speaking of because of Lucille Ball, it shows what it was like behind the scenes back then.
Yeah.
Like they were a tight ship and they did not mess around. And if you messed around, you got messed up.
Yeah.
They
I
had,
mean,
did you know they
you
had
know,
fixers back then? Like fixers? Yeah.
well, and also like in the kind of the like from 40s and earlier, they were cranking out like a studio would crank out like 40 movies a year.
Yeah.
They just
Yeah.
nowadays they would crank out like 10.
hmm And
I
back then it was
mean,
a really
I
like
mean, I
a
know they're
well-oiled
promising
machine.
like the fact that David Ellison is promising like, oh yeah, when we take over Paramount, we're gonna make put out 30 movies a year is like baffling. Like,
Yeah. It's like, okay, dude.
really?
Yeah, like, okay, that's a lot of
Really?
work. Yeah, I don't think he understands what it was
Are they
like.
all gonna be $25 million like
Yep,
mid
you
to
said
low
it.
budget movies? Is that how you're gonna do
That's
it?
the only with one, maybe 40 million, like maybe 150 mil, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're in the 80s.
It's 1983. Charles Bloodhorn dies. And at this point, Paramount is like the brand, the defining brand for Gulf and Western. Like if you go back and watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, you see the logo Paramount, a Gulf and Western company, or
Yep.
same with the old Star Trek movies. So the people that took over from Charles Blundhurst were like, what if we just made Paramount the brand for this company and we sell off all the other crap? Let's make ourselves into a media company. So in 1987, once they sold off all the coffee farms and the casket companies and all that, they became Paramount Communications, in which they held on to Paramount Pictures, Simon and Schuster, and Madison Square Garden, interestingly. At some point, they owned Madison Square Garden and all like the actual, which if you don't know, that's like that is like the arena in New York City.
It's the arena of the East Coast. The fuck, I'll argue
Yeah,
on that. It's the Madison Square Garden. Hey, it's the Garden.
it's the Garden. Yeah, it's the Garden. The
Godzilla made it
MSG.
her nest there. Like
There's
it's the
literally like a freaking train station there's a subway
yeah.
station that runs through there, and yeah, it's where the Knicks play and the Rangers play, and then also concerts are there.
And
Uh,
back then, if you were a big comic, that was where you made your cemented yourself in history. Comics.
Ooh, yeah.
It wasn't where you think like, oh, it's like, football stadiums like nowadays, like Kevin Hart. It's like, no, 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 no,
Hmm.
no. Back then, like both like 2005 back, if you were a comedian who wanted to be in the pantheon, that is where you went.
Hmm.
You sold out the Garden. Oh God, that's insane. You own the
Yeah.
Garden.
Now
Anyway,
eventually that got sold off elsewhere, and
yeah,
and I think was it 94? Yeah, 94. Which I guess that must have happened right after Viacom, which is now like a much bigger company than it was when
yeah.
CBS got rid of it. Um, Viacom buys Paramount Com. Viacom buys Paramount, and the stuff that Viacom brings with it to merge and vertically integrate and whatever, a lot of TV networks, a lot of cable channels, I should say, Showtime, BET, Nickelodeon, MTV, Comedy Central, VH1, and TNN, which you would later know as Spike TV and then again as Paramount Network.
Spike
So
TV,
that's how all
baby.
that got under the Paramount umbrella,
God.
under the Paramount Mountain.
Yep.
Um,
All that. Oh my
and Viacom at
God.
this point was also bought out by the Redstones, mainly Sumner Redstone, and then subsequently his daughter Sherry through a company called National Amusements, who also own movie theaters. Boy, we are just getting around the we are just getting around these it's like the more you buy, the more you can get around the federal government's like antitrust rules. And also by 1994, we're past Reagan, we're into Clinton. No one gives a fuck anymore.
Nope.
1995, Viacom sees what Fox did. They're like, oh, Rupert Murdoch just started his own TV network and it worked. Okay, we want to do that. So they create the United Paramount Network, or UPN. Best known, its legacy didn't last long. It only lasted like 10 years. It's really just best known for um, Black American sitcoms, which they had a fair amount of those, Star Trek Voyager, and WWF SmackDown.
SmackDown, baby.
WWF SmackDown. I
F,
remember
yeah.
that's what it was.
Yep.
I didn't watch that. I was like, this looks like crap.
I
Well,
think
I
I
just
saw
want
a
to watch more
couple
Star
growing
Trek.
up. I think I saw a couple growing up. It was
Yeah,
just,
I was
yeah.
not a wrestling guy. I was never a wrestling guy. If you're into that, no shame. I'm not shaming you. I know very sophisticated people that are also into wrestling, and so no shaming. Um, yeah, 2000, Viacom buys CBS Corporation the first time. Why am I calling it the first time, you may ask? Well,
Oh, God.
apparently just because you merge with another company doesn't mean it's going to work out in the end.
Yep.
I guess they're just I don't know. So maybe you're just too big to operate, just can't hold it all together. So in 2005,
Oh,
I told you this is going to be fun.
I
Like
know.
all
This
these
is,
companies just merging in and out. Yeah, and Paramount's like, CBS, hey, how's it going? We've a long time no see. Now we're family again. We weren't
what?
family and now we're family. But then in 2005, CBS was like, nah, screw you guys. I'm going home. We're not family anymore. CBS splits off from not Warner Brothers, Viacom.
Yep.
And CBS is like, I'm taking all this TV shit with me. And you keep the movie shit. And
Yeah.
as well, and keep the cable channels too. So that meant, I remember during this time, that meant that Star Trek was owned by two companies because like all the TV shows were owned by CBS, but all the Star Trek movies were owned by Paramount or slash Viacom, and it was like kind of confusing. As like, is this the hurdle that we have to get through to get another Star Trek show on the air? Because also by then like Star Trek Enterprise got canceled, and there wasn't a new
Hey,
show for a while.
hey, Star Trek was like Spider-Man before, Marvel, the
Ah,
MCU. Yeah, the MCU. How do we get him on Civil War? Talk to Sony.
Sony still has the rights to the movies. Yeah. 2006,
Oh God, it's so good.
UPN merged with the WB to make the CW network. But that was a CBS thing. Viacom did not
UPN,
control
man.
that.
Remember when
Yeah,
UPN had some crazy ass shows like Homeboys in Space?
was that them? Oh, that was them. Yeah, they had some wacky shit.
They
And
had
and they
the
could not promote Star Trek properly. Like, oh God, like if there was ever
oh
like
God,
a few seconds of like, ooh, some characters are showing some skin in this episode, they ran with that with the commercials, and then you watch
man,
the episode and it's like, oh, it was like a small part.
yeah.
What the fuck was this?
You're like,
Um,
damn it! I just unzipped my pants. Fuck.
yeah, and then we'll get to the end of the pre-Skydance journey for Paramount when in 2017 CBS creates the CBS All Access streaming service, and it's only
Yep,
good for new Star Trek stuff. And then 2019, excuse me, um, after CBS's CEO Les Moonves got Me Too'd, which I hold that is the only reason why this merger was about to happen because apparently
oh,
Les Moonves was the holdout. I'm not saying that the accusations against him were false. I'm just saying that the way they came about, I think the Redstones might have had
motive.
a bit of a push to like it's like get a PI on this. Find out some dirt on Les Moonves. Oh, he's not working with us? All right, let's see if we can get some PR people and lawyers to convince these women to come out about their allegations. I think there was a little bit of that going on. Like,
Oh,
we got some dirt on you, asshole. Um, so 2019, Viacom merges with CBS. Again, they become Viacom CBS. But then eventually in 2022, they renamed themselves to Paramount Global, of which by then they renamed the CBS All Access streamer to Paramount Plus, which is a way better brand name, and it allowed them to actually go global since CBS is not much of a thing elsewhere. And
yeah,
they sold the CW, they and Warner Brothers sold the
yeah,
CW Nexstar. Um, so
yep, yep.
currently, total assets value for Paramount Skydance is $43.3 billion. Total equity value, as in the actual value of the company, 11.7 billion. To put that in perspective, Disney bought Lucasfilm for 17 billion, and Paramount is worth they what their equity value in terms of like when you remove all the debts, that's their worth.
Yeah.
Not much. Highest grossing films that Paramount ever made, according to
Ooh, I like this. Okay,
Box
yeah.
Office Mojo only the top 50. I just
Okay.
went with the top 50. In 39th place, Transformers Age of Extinction, 1.105 billion. All these are in the billion place, so I don't think I have to say billion over again. Transformers Dark of the Moon, 37th place,
I like that.
1.123. Four, and this was just it was just a distribution deal because Disney actually made this, but Paramount still a distribution. Iron Man 3 in 30th place, 1.214. Number three, in 15th place, Top Gun Maverick, 1.495
Okay,
billion.
so their number three has the 15th spot.
Yes, overall.
Top
And
Gun
then,
Maverick. Okay.
yeah. And then, again, distribution, because technically Disney made this. Number two, in, I think it was 13th or 14th place, Marvel's The Avengers from 2012, the first Avengers movie.
That was crazy big. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And then in number one, which is now the fourth highest grossing film of all time, with over $2 billion in box office earnings, Titanic,
Oh,
which is also like a co-production with 20th Century Fox, but yeah, they were
yeah.
involved with that, so they get a piece of that. Now, adjusted for inflation, Titanic is the number three film of all time. And then number eight all time, an old 50s movie directed by Cecil B. DeMille called The Ten Commandments.
Hey,
Now for
remember,
Frank.
sorry, you ever heard of that joke about that they did that Blazing Saddles did about Cecil B. DeMille?
Oh, what was the joke?
So Gene Wilder played the famous gunslinger that the new sheriff finds,
Hmm.
and he's like, you're that guy? You're the guy like, yeah, I've killed more men than Cecil B. DeMille.
It's
Because,
pretty good.
ladies and gentlemen, if you don't get that joke, a lot of people have died on Cecil B. DeMille sets. Like, oh, and here's the thing, those deaths made the cut.
Yeah, film safety standards have greatly improved over the years.
Yeah, most of the greatest American classic films aren't snuff films anymore. You could literally Ben-Hur is a snuff film when you think about it.
Um, now
Oh, Ten
the
Commandments.
highest in terms of total revenue, the highest grossing franchises that
Oh,
Paramount Skydance owns. Titanic is at number seven, 3.5 billion. Blue's Clues, 3.6 billion.
Blues Clues,
Mission
Blues Clues.
Impossible, 4.7. Star Trek, 11.2. And there's three more
Okay.
that made more than Star Trek that haven't been around as long as Star Trek, which makes me a little mad. But also these are all kids stuff, so maybe that's understandable. Dora the Explorer, 15.8 billion. Now, okay, just to be clear, I'm talking about revenue, so that means everything.
I know.
Television, movies, merchandise, toys,
Dora
everything.
has like two new TV shows right now on Nick Jr. And they had
No,
those like
number
two
two,
TV movies. Sorry.
yeah. So the number two most highest grossing franchise that Paramount owns, SpongeBob SquarePants,
Yeah. Who,
but it's not number
hey,
one.
if everyone remembers, by the way, if you're the big SpongeBob fans, it was first pitched to Adult Swim.
Yeah.
That's why when you look at
Mm-hmm.
those first two seasons, you're gonna see some shit where you realize, oh, that was
Mm-hmm.
some saved animation.
Yeah, that is a $16.6 billion franchise that they have.
First movie was
And the
amazing.
number one that they currently own, I
Is
don't think they created this. I think they just simply own this now.
who I think it is. You said kids show. I think I know. Let me see. What is it?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah,
17.4 billion that
because you got all
franchise
the
is.
video games.
Oh yeah, and that's been around only since the 80s.
Shoot, man. I know there's a lot of hardcore TMNT fans at my work. They want Last Ronin live action.
Hmm.
They want their life. Really, yeah. Anyone who knows the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the average viewer of like, oh yeah, it's just a bunch of brothers fighting crime, and you got skateboards and pizza. Yeah, no, yeah. Read The Last Ronin. It's not for kids.
Yeah.
I think people realize like TMNT started off dark when it first appeared on the scene. God, that's awesome.
So that's the Paramount story. I'm hoping the Warner Brothers story will go a little bit faster because I can then just brush through like the bigger historical developments, like the 50s. Let's talk
Oh,
about Warner Brothers. Yeah.
hit it hard, hit it quick. Let's do it.
1910, Harry, Albert, Sam, and Jack Warner found the Warner Features Company in Newcastle, Pennsylvania, producing silent films together. But then in 1923, they officially founded Warner Brothers Pictures.
Yeah.
Kind of like now we can distribute movies. I'm sure that's probably when they moved out west. Um,
Okay.
1927, Warner Brothers produces the first talkie picture, The Jazz Singer, starring Al Jolson.
Oh, that's
Uh,
the thing that's shown in Goodfellas, right? No. Right?
yep.
Yep, that's the
Uh,
Goodfellas thing. Yeah, in
yep.
Goodfellas.
Blackface and all. Blackface minstrelly and all. So just be warned. Um, and then 1950s, Bad Times for Hollywood. I talked about that. Jack Warner is kind of the last brother still running things at this point. Um,
He ain't no bloodhorn.
but Warner Brothers was smart. And there's a few things where anything connected to Warner seems to be like they did what Paramount did, but sooner
Better.
and
Yeah.
smarter. 1955, Warner Brothers Television is established. I bring that up because Warner Brothers Television is one of the is considered like I think like the two one of the two largest TV studios in the world in terms of shit that they own and the money they've made. So
Yep.
like you're a fan of The Big Bang Theory. That's a Warner Brothers property.
Yeah. No,
And
because you
all
know
the
why? I
spin-offs
can
that
watch it
came
on
out of
HBO
that.
Max. Yep.
Friends, Warner Brothers property. One of
HBO
your
Max.
favorite shows, Southland, it's a Warner Brothers property.
AT&T, baby.
ER, oh God, The West Wing was Warner. Uh,
Yep.
I could
HBO
keep
Max.
going. I think it's like it's second only to Sony
Mhm.
because Sony owns a
It
lot
it
of
makes you think
properties.
like this. Oh, if Warner Brothers came out with a console. But no, really, like that's why
Mhm.
Sony's bigger.
Yeah. So 1966 again. First of all, 1966, Warner Brothers is sold to like another film production company called another studio called Seven Arts, and it
Uh-huh.
briefly becomes known as Warner Brothers Seven Arts. But then in 1969, the thing where random companies are just buying up Hollywood stuff, that happened. This time, Warner Brothers Seven Arts gets bought out by a company called Kinney National Service Incorporated. Again, another conglomerate that just owns a bunch of random shit. Funeral homes, parking services. Um, oh, they owned a cable company which then later it was known as Television Communications Corporation. It
Oh
later
God.
got renamed to Time Warner Cable
Yep.
and then to Spectrum, which was then sold to Charter, and Spectrum is how I watch my Dodger games. There was the Kinney Record Group, which is now known as Warner Music Group,
Yep.
which
Agreed.
ironically is not owned by Warner anymore, even though they have the Warner name. But they are a massive, massive conglomerate in record labels. Like, have you ever heard of Atlantic Records?
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the biggest record companies in the world. Yeah, they own that. Um, oh, you'll love
Okay.
this.
Oh God.
The
Yep.
last thing that Kinney owned, the thing that Kinney brought to the table when they bought Warner Brothers in 1969, National Periodical Publications. What is that? Which would later be rebranded by a different name in 1977. What what do you think that brand was?
Oh God, please tell me. Because I have a feeling.
In 1977, National Periodical Publications rebranded themselves to DC Comics. So that is how Warner
Holy
Brothers
shit.
and Superman, Batman, the Justice League, that's how they got together.
That's how we got Adam West dancing.
No, that was before then.
Oh, that was before.
Which
Oh, so
which
they get to buy.
explains why the Batman show was produced by 20th Century Fox.
Oh, okay. So that connects that dot.
Yeah,
Son of a
because Warner
bitch.
Brothers didn't own it yet. Didn't have that within their toy box yet. So
So wow, DC.
so I have a theory that unlike Charles Bloodhorn, Steve Ross, the owner and CEO of Kinney, was an actual genius and visionary because he saw the writing on the wall that he just bought the most defining brand for his company. And 3 years after bought it, and 15 years after Paramount came to the same decision, Steve Ross says, "No, we're not Kinney anymore. We're Warner Communications." So he saw the light, man, and I think he kept running the company until he died in 1992. It's definitely a force in media business.
Oh, because look at what
Others,
he owns and what we wouldn't have without that. Like if you think about it.
mm-hmm.
Damn.
So along that
DC.
way, fun fact: Warner actually bought Atari in 1976, but then there was a big video game crash in 1983, so they sold it off. I think it was like video games were so new and no one knew what to make of it, so there was like a speculation bubble about it, and then
Yeah, it was,
kind of like
and then
what's
he
about to happen to AI.
pretty much, yeah, people
Um,
didn't have faith at the beginning, and now look where we're at with video games.
I know. 1984, Warner launches MTV, Nickelodeon, and VH1, but they sold it to Viacom 2 years later, and they
Man, if
thought they
they,
were saying goodbye forever.
man, think if they kept MTV with all that ridiculousness money.
Right? Or just, the amount of people getting cable subscriptions so they could watch their favorite music artists. Like,
That too, but just like all of it when you think about it.
yeah. 1990, Warner Communications merges with Time Inc. to form Time Warner. Time was originally named Time and Life because those were their two main magazines. Time are their two
And
main magazines, I should say.
time and life,
They
yeah,
also own Time. Time also owned Sports Illustrated, People, Entertainment Weekly, Fortune. That's where the Fortune 500 comes
yeah.
from. Essence and HBO. That's how HBO enters the Warner story. Is through that merger.
Oh, the
1995.
beginnings of HBO.
I know. Well, HBO was already around, but it
But like
wasn't a
that's what I'm saying.
Warner thing
But the
until then.
beginnings still, like the very beginnings of HBO are insane.
Oh, it keeps going. So let's see. 1985. They did the same thing, same year that Paramount was like, we want our own TV network. Warner Brothers founded the WB. Um, Also wasn't a profitable venture for them after a decade, but I think WB had the better legacy because they better defined their brand as like, we are the young adult family
Yeah,
TV show company.
there's a lot of
Uh,
stuff on the WB when you and I were growing up. I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea, except Channel 5 on Saturday mornings was the only reason why I turned to Channel 5. But the WB had some stuff for like everyone else
a
and
house
big
that
stuff.
Buffy built.
Hmm.
1996. Oh, you're gonna love this.
God.
Time Warner buys Ted Turner's company, Turner Broadcasting System.
Okay.
Subsidiaries of Turner that Warner acquired. The Cable News Network, also known as CNN. Remember that. This is going to be important.
Oh.
Also, TBS,
Mm.
named after Turner Broadcasting, which also includes TNT and True TV, Turner Classic Movies, Cartoon Network slash Adult Swim slash Boomerang. So that's how Cartoon Network became a Warner thing. Uh,
Yeah. Beautiful.
Hanna-Barbera,
Yeah.
which then got folded into Warner Brothers Animation. So that's how Scooby Doo became a Warner Brothers thing. New Line Cinema, which at the time was kind of more known for horror movies because they
Yeah.
did like Last House on the Left. They did a lot of Wes Craven stuff. So like
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah, and I think by that time they had just got the Jason Voorhees rights. Um, because fun fact, which was also a Paramount property, freaking Friday the 13th was a Paramount property, even though they sold it to something that went to Warner. And the only reason they sold it is just because the upper crust at Paramount were ashamed of the brand. They were ashamed of the Jason Voorhees movies because they were such fucking trash, but
But
they
they have
kept
such a
making
cult,
money.
and they
That's
have
why the
such a cult
fourth
following.
movie they had said the fourth movie was called The Final Chapter because Paramount's like, you have to stop. He says this is embarrassing for us. But then part four made money.
Yeah,
So they're
no one,
like,
no one understands. Friday
well,
the 13th has a cult following, like a big ass following.
yeah, not even a cult following. It's too big for that. It's too mainstream
Yes,
for that. Like people love those movies because they're trashy violence. Yeah. Yeah, no, the fourth movie made so much money that they couldn't help but make Friday the 13th Part 5 a new beginning.
just remember, everyone, when people joke about like, oh, Fast and Furious, or they went to space now, it's like Jason did it first.
It wasn't until Jason went to New York that, which I think that movie kind of fizzled box office wise, that Paramount's like, okay, now we can get rid of this. this this will have no legacy. We can get rid of this. We don't want no part in this anymore.
Uh,
You
see,
know what? You know what?
see what happens when your big scary monster goes to New York. Look what happened to you, Predator.
Is
Stop going to New York, monsters.
that New York? I thought they were in Los Angeles.
Oh
I thought.
shoot, that was Los Angeles. Fuck, I forgot Concrete Jungle. And you know what?
Yeah,
That movie is so industrial, it looked like New York when you think about it the way this.
I just remember it was so fucking hot outside. I was like, this has to be L.A. You know what else Time Warner
You're
got
right. That's
for a
right. It's
moment?
LA.
You
What?
know what else Time Warner got in that in the Turner purchase? The Atlanta Hawks, the basketball team. They later sold it. They sold it in '04, but yeah, for a brief moment they owned an NBA
Hey,
team.
how right are you? The more money you make, you get to own stuff, and you shouldn't be really owning this stuff.
Dude, like Fox used to own the Dodgers,
Yeah,
like back in the day. Disney owned the Ducks
I know, because yeah,
and the Angels. Maybe they should have kept the Angels,
yeah, they should
not and
have.
not given it to Artie.
Maybe that's where
Okay.
that TV show pitch would have gone first.
2001, Time Warner merged with AOL to become AOL Time Warner,
Oh, was this
which
before or
did
after the
not work
towers?
out very well for them.
Was this before or after that fateful Tuesday morning?
Oh, I don't know. It might have been like right before.
Oh God.
I don't remember when the .com crash happened. It might have been right before then
Yeah.
because yeah, AOL stock like collapsed shortly afterwards to where Time Warner was just kind of stuck with AOL for a bit, and they had to rebrand. They originally called we're AOL Time Warner now. Like you watch like Warner Brothers movies made from like 2001 to 2003, Warner Brothers Pictures and AOL Time Warner Company, and then they were like, we gotta change it. We can't have that in their name anymore. So they went back to just being Time Warner again. And then in 2009, they got rid of AOL. They spun it off into its own thing. It's like, fuck off, get out of here.
God.
2006, WB merges with UPN to form the CW. Okay, now we'll fast forward to 2018. AT&T enters the story for a little bit. They buy
Yep.
Time Warner. They
Yep.
rebrand Time Warner as Warner Media. AT&T owns DirecTV, so they thought they wanted to be like Comcast.
Yep.
Comcast bought Universal and NBC, and that seems to be working out really well for Comcast. But AT&T comes in and they're like, and eventually, and also this took 3 years to happen
Yeah. I
because
remember hearing
by
about
this
the
point,
too.
because by the end of this, Trump was in power, Trump was president, and Trump was like, I don't like CNN. You should do something about CNN. Now this is Trump one. This
First
is
term
back when
Trump.
Trump just staffed his people with neocons and the people at staff were basically like telling Trump, don't listen to him, don't listen to him. It's fine. You can keep CNN. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything to CNN. Don't listen. He's just mad. We don't pay attention to him anyway. Um, but event pretty soon, AT&T was like, oh shit, we have to spend money to make movies and TV shows, and also you're kind of building up some debt, Warner Brothers. And then AT&T kind of had some buyer's remorse for that.
Yep.
They're like, you know what, we don't want to do it. But in the interim, they briefly bought Crunchyroll, the streaming service for like anime shit.
Yeah.
But then they sold it
Crunchyroll.
2 years later to Sony.
Should have
So
kept
all
it.
my weeaboos in the audience, there's my shout out to you. Assuming the Cartoon Network was not the shout out already. They launched
Tsunami.
HBO Max in 2020. Um, and then 2 years later, AT&T, I guess they had some talks with Discovery. They're like Discovery Communications, which owns, of course, Discovery Channel, Travel Channel, Animal Planet, Food Network, HGTV, Motor Trend magazine. Um, Only my dad cares about that, and the Oprah Winfrey Network. Um, they're like, yeah, let's sell Warner Media to those guys. Let's get um and I remember when that happened, and then David Zaslav, the guy who ran Discovery Communications and became the new CEO of what is now Warner Brothers Discovery. He was like he really thought like he had just bought his way to being like a Hollywood mogul, even though it turns out he apparently doesn't like movies very much.
Yeah,
Doesn't understand them, doesn't care. He only knows cheap reality crap. That's how you get stuff like the Batgirl movie that was made, where they actually shot the whole thing, and then they're like, we're not going to release this. We're
ever.
just going to throw it in the garbage and write it off on our taxes.
And Brendan Fraser was the fucking villain.
Mm-hmm.
Who did he play? It was like Firefly, right?
I don't remember what
No,
the
yeah, he
details
played
of
the
that
guy who
movie.
starts fires in the Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been love to have seen that take. He's like literally, he plays a villain who has a jetpack while a flamethrower at the same time and just starts literally a war with the fire department. It's
Okay, that
crazy.
might be Firefly then.
Yeah, Firefly. Yeah, no, that Brendan Fraser played him.
Okay.
Think about that. Think about
Wow.
it. But like that
We
would have been
missed
awesome
out.
to see. Yeah, we missed out on a great idea because I've seen pictures of behind the scenes of that, and he's literally got in one hand this big ass flamethrower with obviously it wasn't a functional one, but with like big ass rocket pack on his back, like a firefly wing. And I'm like, oh, he had fun. You can tell he's all like, oh, yeah.
I am so like the fact that they chose not to finish that movie. Like I know Hollywood has movies where it's like once they're shot, they put them and go to the editing room and they're like, "Oh, this is bad. This does not turn out as well as we thought." But then they'll just release them anyway. They'll dump them in
Yeah,
January, and then it's like, okay, we'll make some money off of DVD releases
yeah. But
or
no,
home
no,
releases, or we'll sell them to air on TV somewhere and at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon while someone's folding laundry, you
but not
know, we'll make
anymore.
our money there. So it was really shocking when they did that. It's like, really?
No, and also I heard that they said like there it's never going to see the light of day because if it did, the back taxes they'd have to pay would be astronomical.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's never going to see the
This is like the
it's never going to see human eyes. This will never see human eyes.
this is like
Uh,
the beginning of like us talking about how the financialization of Hollywood is fucking everything up.
yes,
Well, just the financialization of the U.S. economy, where you can make more money just by doing
nothing.
like weird financial schemes,
Oh yeah, and like
rather
oh
than
yeah, doing the
just making shit that people will buy.
basically instead of just actually doing what you're supposed to do and produce and make and market and sell, it's like we'll do it and then half-ass it to like go some legal loopholes of taxation, get a great back tax. And due to the fact that we did it that way, if we were to ever fully release it to the public, it would bankrupt us because of how much we'd have to actually legally pay up in fines and back taxes. So no, yeah, no matter what people say about how like, oh, Batgirl was probably too woke, or Batgirl was probably too great, or Batgirl was this or that's like it doesn't matter. The public will never be able to have a say in it because of the
Yeah,
suits. The point is that movie, due to what you're saying, the financialization of just an American economy, the public will never have an opinion if that
no,
movie is too woke, too good, horrible, great to the comic book, ethos and lore. We'll never know. We don't get to get mad or happy. That's the crazy part. They literally took the
and it was
consumer
not.
opinion out.
Yeah, and they took that movie away for none of those reasons. It's just so they could just like save some money
No,
in
that's something they
taxes.
save money, but we don't get to have the opinion of
I
what
know.
it was. There's so many guys at work, older than me, younger than me, my age, who are like, I wanted to see that. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
just to know. Oh, I was hearing you had a lot of negative reviews during test screening. I don't care. I want to see it still. Brendan Fraser was the villain. That's all anyone really cared about.
So,
And think about what's going to happen in the future though with more movies when they do that. Of like,
mm-hmm.
oh, we're just going to do it to save some money and taxes and stuff. And it's like, so what you're making stuff, getting us hyped up, and like then we never get to know about it. And it's like, oh,
I
okay,
I think like yeah, and I think more and more now like uh I think directors and producers because of that Especially if they have enough clout, they can just be like in their contracts, like, "Hey, you have to release this. Like,
Oh,
you have to
yeah,
let me
yeah.
finish this,
I think I've heard
otherwise,
a few of them started doing
fucking
that now.
yeah, either that or you have to pay me like a ginormous penalty, or I will fucking sue you."
Yeah.
You're
No, no, you're right. I believe a lot of more directors now are doing it now, but that's where it started the clause of no matter what, this has to see the light of day. I don't care. It's in
yeah.
the clause. I think
Um,
actors aren't actors doing that now too. It's like some of the big name actors too, huh?
I'm sure they are. If they're big enough, they can certainly have that kind of power.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right, so
So
back to the
continuing.
timeline. Back
So
to the
now,
timeline.
yeah, or well, we're at the end of the pre-merger timeline for Warner Brothers. So just to kind of sum it all up before we get to talking about what Skydance is, Warner Brothers total assets valued at $100.5 billion. That's like leagues ahead
Yeah.
of what Paramount has. Even their total equity, and they have a lot of debt, but their total equity without the debt is 37.3 billion. That's over 3 times what
What
Paramount's
Paramount
value
has.
is.
Wow.
Highest grossing movies
Oh, sweet. Yeah,
all
here we go.
time. Based in the top 50 on Box Office Mojo. That was my cutoff.
Yeah.
Uh, in 42nd place, Joker, 1.078.
And for them, is that like their number 10 movie or?
Oh, this is their six. So there's six. They have six
Okay,
movies in the
so this
top
is
50.
their top six is Joker, which is number 48, you said?
42.
42. That movie sucks.
Yeah,
I hate
fuck
that
that
movie.
movie.
I hate that movie so much. Such
Don't
a
worry.
waste.
The next movie in 41st place, The Dark Knight Rises,
Hey,
1.085.
hey. Yes, that movie has problems, but when you see it the first time in theaters, wow, what a
Mm,
ride. Dude,
yeah.
hey, the most pro cop movie ever made. Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Hey, great line. There's only one police in this town. Oh, dude, the theater was like all over that. The theater was like, yeah,
Back the blue.
yeah, literally. That was a blue moment. Like, that was literally where you're like, yeah, the
so in so fourth
fourth
30
place.
34th place overall
Oh,
with
fourth, fourth, fourth.
1.148 billion. The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Yeah, damn right it is. Damn right. Hey, no matter who you were, no matter where you were in 2003, if you saw that in theaters, oh my God.
I was too young and immature to appreciate wanting to do that. I
I have
totally regret
never
that.
seen a more awesome battle scenes for a PG-13 movie where people, okay, really quick. No, because it happened. There's two moments where people went like this. Remember when the armies of Mordor are at the wall? Remember that? And they're like, fear. The city is rank with it. Let us ease their pain.
I'm
Release the
sorry.
prisoner. What? Remember that?
I'm laughing because I'm thinking of what the next movie
Okay,
is.
hold on. There you go. Are you ready? But hold on. Those two moments when the head orc is saying, release the prisoners, and then his second in command is like catapults, and everyone's like this. I swear the audience was like, because there's like about 2 seconds before the catapults fire. Everyone in the audience, I kid you not, was like, catapults? Like, are they gonna just are they throwing like the live prisoners over the wall?
Fucking
Like,
heads.
no, people are like this. Is this like acne? Are they gonna get some more? No. Then you see the heads and everyone. You can see everyone going like this.
Yeah.
And then when they land and that one head
Eyes
shot with
widen like
no, and
fuck.
remember when the head the one shot of the guy with headless guy came down and the helmet kind of came off.
Hmm.
Everyone was like, this isn't Lord of the Rings. This isn't the movie I paid for. And then the second charge against the elephant, when that one hit, oh, and then like you see 10 fucking horses get it, you're like, oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
air got sucked out, like the music of like, oh,
Okay. Hold up. Hold up.
everyone in the audience was like in like just fucking, oh, hey Tater Tot,
Tater Tot wants to say hi.
Tater Tot, hey baby girl, baby boy. I don't know why I said baby girl. I say it
Yeah.
so much to little animals.
You little baby boy. All right. So the next movie, literally one place above. So like, Return of the
Okay.
King was 34th, 33rd. Aquaman.
You know what? It made a ton of movie. Hold on. It made a ton of money.
It did. I don't know
That's
why.
such a dumb movie.
It
I
is.
saw that in theaters. Like, okay, I like Jason Momoa. He's Surfer Bro Aquaman is a cool concept. And I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, this is the movie right now.
There's so many things about that movie where I'm like, and I think it's because I've read the comic that the main story was based on, and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is a great story. You have the pieces. Why are they not fitting together as well
Why
as
are
they
they?
should? Why am I bored watching this?
And then we're watching a CGI fest of a war battle with hermit crabs and like the
Well, you're
freaking
talking about like the big battle in Return of the King, and I'm like, I'm sure
yeah.
that's what James Wan thought he was making.
I swear, and he didn't know how to do it because when you watch Return of the King, you're just like, oh my God, this is insane. Keeps going, and then you're watching Aquaman, you're like, are those crab people with like plasma rifles? And is that a 50-foot like hammerhead shark with a war cannon on it? And I
Oh.
will not bow to your king. You will call me Ocean Master.
Yeah, it
So
had like talking
dumb.
crabs.
It had crab people. It had hermit crab people
I was
with
like,
like plasma.
I wish the movie was more batshit like that. Like,
It,
just
might,
embrace the weirdness. Oh,
it should
whatever.
have done that from the jump if you're gonna have freaking hermit crab people with talking mandibles like praying mantises.
They were so focused on like we got to make Aquaman cool, which you can make Aquaman cool, but like,
He already was cool. It was Surfer Bro. It was fine. Hey,
yeah.
but he was an idiot in that movie. I could have just peed on it.
Okay.
All right, what's number?
Number two. So we're gonna jump up to 22nd place. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part Two.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. That was a cultural phenomenon. Harry Potter took the world by storm. I hated him after. Oh God. Oh God.
You're
What's
talking
number?
about cultural phenomenons. You know what the next movie is? The highest grossing movie Warner Brothers has ever made?
Is it Dark Knight?
Nope.
Because I'm thinking Warner
Nope.
Brothers.
Nope.
Hold on, hold
Nope.
on.
It's much more recent.
Oh God, no, no. What?
In 18th place overall, the highest grossing film Warner Brothers Pictures ever
Hold on, hold
made.
on, hold on. Sorry, before you go, Paramount actually had more higher places on the list than Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers
It
stopped at
it,
18.
it had
Because you said Paramount, I think they were number eight, right?
well, Paramount's highest was 4, but with Titanic.
Sorry, four. Wow, Paramount, like that's just interesting to see, like 18
Yeah,
to 14. Okay, so who was 18?
Barbie. $1.447 billion it made.
The movie sucked. That movie was such a disappointment. It was such, by the way, because we talked about at the beginning, the way, if that's her, what's the director's name?
Greta Gerwig.
If that's her joke, if that's how she sees The Godfather, fuck you. Like, fuck her. That was so like the whole like, oh yeah, every guy who's a misogynist likes to mansplain The Godfather to his girl. I'm like, who the fuck mansplains The Godfather? No
That's
one does that.
Tom. That's true though.
Who does that? What are you
Dudes
talking
do that.
with The
Or
God?
if it's not The Godfather, it's like a
But
Tarantino
but she
movie.
made this. She's
Okay.
picked The Godfather. I'm like, no dude does that with The Godfather. You just say like, that was a great movie. Let's watch it together, and that's it. No one pauses the screen to talk about The Godfather like they do The Lord of the Rings. No one does that. If you do that, you need a life. I've never paused The Godfather to talk about it.
I'm gonna guess Greta Gerwig as and
She,
probably Noah Baumbach because he wrote the film too. I was not surprised.
okay? I was
I got the
pissed.
joke. I got the joke, and maybe it's because I went to film school. But
Oh,
like
okay.
in
I
associate
was
undergrad, you
upset. I
encounter
thought it was
like
insulting. I'm like this. She
you
must have had a
encounter film bros, like
Hey,
like
she
yeah,
either
like
you know what when I was watching, I'm like this. Either her dad's an asshole, or she dated one douchebag. Because who the hell does this to The Godfather?
all you got to do is go online and look up like film bro starter pack memes, and if it's not The Godfather in there, it's gonna be at least one Tarantino movie.
If bros are watching The Godfather,
It's
then
like
use that literacy for something else. Fucking hell, like read the book. Like I hated that movie, Barbie. God, I wanted just Ken. I just wanted Ken. That was the better part. Well, that movie sucked. Dick.
I thought that movie was a fun ride.
I was
It was
not
a
having fun.
like I will say it's a vibes movie.
It's a
The
vibes movie for sure. I was trying.
substance is a little muddy, especially towards the end, but
Well, then they give good moments with Barbie. Like, okay, that scene with the old woman on the bench, that was great. Where was that
mhm.
for the film? To me, that was the movie he should have been doing from the jump, not this shit.
Anyway, Adjusted for inflation, in the top 10 adjusted for inflation, Warner Brothers only owns one film on that list. And I want to say that again. They only own one film, and
What?
that is the number one highest grossing adjusted for inflation movie of all time, Gone with the Wind. They
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
make it though.
That's right. They own Gone with the
MGM
Wind.
made it, but when MGM was having money troubles, they sold off a lot of their film rights, and that's how Warner Brothers now owns Gone with the Wind.
The movie with the first cuss word.
I don't give a damn. Um, that was a bloated movie.
I love
Like
that
when
film.
when I watch it, I'm like, especially when I get to the second half, I'm like, can we just cut this, cut this, cut this?
Hey,
Like 45, two-thirds of the movie, like two-thirds of that second half, I can cut. Like
I
two-thirds of the
love
parts
that.
after intermission, I could do without.
You, I love watching it from the beginning to end. I love that movie so much. I love it.
So okay, franchises that Warner Brothers owns. In terms of
Gone with the
franchises
Wind.
that are worth 2 billion or more, Warner
Okay.
Brothers has 15, more than Paramount does.
All right, how about this?
Lego,
I won't respond. Just name off all 15. I won't make a comment till the end.
okay, Lego video games, The Matrix, Monsterverse, so we co-owned with Legendary and Toho, The Conjuring universe, Friends,
Oh,
The Powerpuff Girls,
yeah.
The Big Bang Theory,
Yep.
Mortal Kombat,
Bazinga. Fatality.
Scooby Doo, Ben
Zoinks.
10.
Yeah, that's it.
Ben 10 is worth more than Scooby Doo. I'm offended by that. Um, Superman, Middle Earth slash Lord of the Rings, films based on books only. Has to be
Mm-hmm.
clarified because,
Of
yeah.
course.
Looney Tunes,
Nintendo's.
Batman, numbered so that
Batman's
Batman is
better.
the
Hey,
second most profitable
Batman's
franchise.
better than Superman.
Uh, and then their most profitable franchise, although this mainly pertains to just the film rights, Wizarding World slash Harry Potter.
That makes sense. So the Harry Potter, how much there is now with like candy,
Mm-hmm.
clothing attire. I mean, like, okay, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you have one of the four class robes,
A theme park land at Universal.
and then the video game that took
Mm-hmm.
video games, all that stuff. I know
Yep.
the others had video games, but like that makes sense because Harry Potter literally you can go visit.
Oh yeah,
You
no, like when we were
can go
kids, it
visit
was
it.
inescapable.
Yeah, no, it
Everybody
was.
read Harry Potter.
Yeah, everyone read
Everybody
Harry
had
Potter.
Harry Potter. Everybody watched the movies.
I wish I kind of had a cloak, not gonna lie. Like in high school, I had one like two of our classmates, Paul and Katie. I would have been cool to have one.
Mm.
Yeah, it's cool. You gotta admit the Harry Potter cloaks are cool. It's like, you know what? If I was a hardcore fan, I would have bought it.
Yep.
It's like owning a Batman shirt or the cowl. It's like you don't want to be it. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right, so now I want to talk about Skydance, but also talk about the Ellison family because they are
This is
they are the
history lesson.
new. Yeah, so 1994 was the birth of Lord
Me,
Lawrence
me.
Joseph. What?
That's when I came into the world, 1994.
Or is it 19? Oh, did I say 94?
Yeah, you did.
I meant to say 44. I
Oh,
apologize.
44.
1944, the
What
birth
month?
of one Lord Lawrence Joseph Ellison, nicknamed Larry, the future Baron of Oracle. He's not actually a lord, well, not officially, but he might as well be.
He's an
So I'm
Esquire.
Lord Ellison, Lord Larry. In 1970s, he worked at a computer company called Ampex. And his first project was working on a
FX, fuck.
CIA database entitled, or I should say, codenamed Oracle. It gave him some ideas. I'm doing a Laszlo
I love
Kravensworth
it.
impression. In 1977, Larry Ellison co-founded Oracle Corporation, originally
Okay.
called Software Development Laboratories, then changed its name to Relational Software, and then finally changed its name to Oracle Systems. 1983, he had a son named David, nepo baby at the very much a nepo baby. Grew like his father, David Ellison, became a licensed pilot, and he was like,
Oh.
and he was, but he was also into film, and I guess he had this attitude of like, I have a lot of money because I was born rich. I can just throw money and make movies happen. So, in 2006, he founded the company Skydance. Um, yeah, so that's how they get into the movie business. Also, just some other fun facts. Larry Ellison is a Trump donor, and the Ellison family are friends with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. So,
Hmm.
if you
And
want
this will
to know
factor
what
in, folks. This will factor
if you
in.
want to know what their geopolitical views are, it's not good. They have very bad politics. Um, yeah, 2009, Skydance signed a 5-year co-producing slash financing deal with Paramount Pictures. Um,
Yep.
just and since had did a lot of wheeling and dealing around the
Hmm.
Hollywood and global film industry. Skydance was independently producing some stuff, like the show Foundation on
Oh,
Apple
okay. Yeah,
TV.
yeah,
That's a
yeah.
Skydance production.
Okay.
It's solely produced by Skydance. Um, other stuff. Do you know in 2020, Oracle bought the U.S. version of TikTok?
Yeah, I think we talked. I think you and I just talked about that when it happened back then, because
Yeah.
all the crap that was happening in 2020.
So all if you're on TikTok, all your user data are in Oracle cloud computers. Larry Ellison has your data. It's important to
Yeah,
know.
there's more than that now.
Yeah, it says this company, and I guess like what does Oracle do? It's a big software company, and a lot of times like making systems for workplaces. They do a lot of government contracting, especially nowadays.
Yep,
Um,
especially nowadays.
yeah, after Israel was attacked in on October 7th, 2023, Larry Ellison made a big declaration. It's like we're gonna pledge our industrial support to Israel. So it's like I guess they're doing a lot of business there. I guess I'm assuming they've already done a lot of business. All right, and that brings us to last year. Last year, Skydance in a $28 billion deal, which is going to be peanuts compared to the numbers we're going to talk about in a bit. They bought Paramount Global,
Yes.
and so that, forming the Paramount Skydance Corporation. The merger was allowed to go through. I remember this merger was being talked about. It was like in the works since 2023. The merger was allowed to go through after Paramount paid Donald Trump, now our president again, 16 million, a measly $16 million to settle a bullshit lawsuit that they knew was a bullshit lawsuit regarding CBS's 60 Minutes doing an interview with
Yeah.
presidential candidate Kamala Harris, but not Donald Trump, and saying it was highly edited to make her look good, is complete horseshit. In the court, the court showed the testimony showed like it was complete horseshit, but they settled with Trump anyway, um,
Shouldn't have
and
settled.
as a result, they coincidentally around shortly after that merger happened, they canceled the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. I'm sure it had nothing to do with political
No.
pressure from the White House to allow that merger to go through.
Not
None
at all.
whatsoever.
Just like Jimmy Kimmel's hiatus. Not at all. He was on sabbatical.
Yeah. Um and then later David Ellison hired former New York Times columnist and founder of bullshit independent right-wing rag The Free Press, contrarian conservative hardcore pro-Israel non-reporter pundit Barry Weiss to be
Yep.
the editor-in-chief of CBS News, despite the fact that she had absolutely no experience in working in television
Nope.
at all. All for an effort to make CBS News a conservative friendly outlet. And this is how you got like this is how you got Tony Dokapil making a fool of himself as the new CBS Evening News anchor. I'm pretty sure he just got that job because Barry Weiss saw the clip of him on CBS Mornings giving Ta-Nehisi Coates a hard time for mentioning sympathy with Palestine in his latest book,
Yeah.
because she basically believes Palestinians need to go to a meat grinder. Um, it hasn't translated to success for CBS News. CBS News's ratings have fallen dramatically
No. What?
since newsflash, the only people still watching broadcast news are like liberals who are 50 years old and above. Like not like hardcore lefties, but just kind of basic liberals like who
Yeah.
know enough to not watch Fox News. So like, yeah, I'll just watch the normal news. And they note, and like that audience noticed that CBS News was turning into shit.
Yes.
They probably actually read and then found out like, oh, CBS News is turning into shit. I'm not going to watch this anymore. It
Yep.
has not resulted in a bunch of conservatives, a bunch of would-be Fox News viewers coming out and being like, yeah, yeah, I hear CBS News is MAGA now. Let's go there.
No, because they already have it. It's called Fox News.
So, oh, just a note, Larry Ellison is worth $192 billion. That's his net worth. He is worth more than like he's like worth almost 20 times Paramount's like net
Yeah,
value.
he could. Yeah,
Holy shit. Um so
must be nice.
In June 9th, 2025, David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, announced he was going to split Warner Brothers Discovery into two companies.
Yeah.
Uh Basically Discovery Global. They were going to do what Comcast did when they
Yeah.
created the Versant company, which is like we're going to get rid of all our cable networks because cable is a dying business, and we're just going to keep like
Yeah.
film and television studios and the networks that are good for us in the streaming. And that's exactly what they were going to do. It was going to be Warner Brothers and Discovery Global. Well, Hollywood came a calling. They're like, whoa, whoa, wait a second. Maybe you'd be up for a sale. So yeah, Comcast and Netflix from September to December they started making bids. They're like, um, Warner Brothers kept rejecting Paramount's bid because Paramount wanted to buy the whole fucking thing,
Yeah.
whereas Netflix was like, no, no, we're on board with getting rid of the cable networks because we don't like linear TV anyway. Uh, and I remember December 5th, 2025, it was announced that Netflix is going to take over
Do it.
Warner
You're
Brothers.
gonna do it. Yeah.
$82.7 billion deal. Well, now that deal was made between the executives, but it still has to go to the shareholders. And there's a little something called a hostile takeover, in which if someone wants to buy but can't get through the executives, they go directly to the shareholders. And that's what Paramount Skydance did. They went to Warner Brothers shareholders to do a hostile takeover, thinking that the shareholders would turn against David Zaslav. And of course, David Zaslav had to call Daddy for help eventually because they got to raise the bid. Dad, can I have some money? Do you want to get in on this? And also these also involving the sovereign wealth funds of Saudi Arabia, future owner of EA Games, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. God, the irony of an Israel rival, Qatar, paying Barry Weiss's paycheck is just infinite. Um, February 17th, Warner Bros. Discovery reopens
This year,
negotiations.
guys.
This year. Now we're in now. And
Ugh.
finally, Warner Bros. Is like, all right, fine, fine. We'll listen to you. We'll listen to you. We'll redo this. Like, give us a bid. We'll do this the proper way. Just give us a better bid. And they're like, okay, how about $111 billion? Okay, Netflix, what do you got? And Netflix is like, fuck this, we're out.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Yeah, fuck this.
We don't need you that badly. So yeah, like 2 weeks ago, that was when it was announced that Paramount Skydance is going to take over. Um,
Fucking A,
this
dude.
is going to be like Warner Brothers and Paramount together make up like 27% of the media market share.
Yeah. No,
Which
people, it's crazy. That's
like
insanity.
over a fourth of the media market they will own
Yeah.
if they come together
The
like that.
Fairly Odd Parents own Ed, Ed, and Eddie. It's
Mm,
insanity when you think about it. It's insanity what one company owns right now. And it's basically when you're growing up as a kid, you had the three channels, Disney, Cartoon Network, and Nick. Well, guess what?
yeah, that this
Disney's
also
by itself.
and now it's going to be it's when they bring Warner Brothers and Paramount together, there's going to be a lot of redundancies with those two studios, which means a lot of people are going to get laid off.
Oh
There's going
God,
to be a
yeah.
lot less jobs in the
Every time
industry.
the past 10 years of mergers have been nothing but layoffs. It's been basically a decade of layoffs. It's not merging, it's laying people off.
They never announce hiring sprees.
Nope.
They never announce, hey, we're in the interest of expanding and creating more jobs, and our stock
Nope.
value will go up because of that. No, their stock value goes up when they fire a bunch of people.
Hmm.
How fucked is that?
Yeah. No, there's gonna
Yeah,
be a lot. Hey, a lot of people are gonna have a very tight Christmas
it's gonna
this
yeah,
year.
that's
It's
gonna fucking
insanity.
suck.
Yeah, and you've
Also,
heard you heard how many jobs too are like have jobless how much joblessness has gone up, right? Like
mhm,
that was released I think 4 days ago.
yeah,
It's insane.
yeah, we lost a lot of jobs in February. It's only going to get worse. Um, Less movies produced. I don't care what David Ellison says
He's not gonna
about
get to
like,
do
oh,
that.
we're 30-year movies. It's like
No.
that's not what the market is. That
No.
nobody's doing that. Well, you're going to do that bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I have a hard time believing
And,
that.
and if he did, I'd be like, where is that coming from? The money. Where is that money coming
The
from if you're doing
Saudis.
Yeah. And hey, by the way, did you know that's literally the Saudis, Qatar, everyone you just listed who helped with this buyout, they're having a meeting right now and they're thinking of pulling out of American real estate stuff that's been happening because a lot of wealthy Americans like to do real estate deals with the Middle East. And guess what they want to stop now?
Yeah, because they don't want to get dragged, and they don't
This
like the
war.
fact that Iran is like shooting missiles
Everything.
at them. They don't want to get dragged.
Yeah, and so they're thinking of literally saying no more American influence. So for real estate, so it's
Yeah,
like, what was the
and then
point?
and then
No
yeah.
EA.
So get ready for that. Get ready for like CBS being full or CNN being folded into the CBS news department. So
No, CNN is gone. CNN
you're gonna
will
have a
no.
diet Fox News with CNN.
CNN's
I
not
mean,
gonna be exist. You know it's gonna be
both
liquidated.
CBS and CNN were like at one point or another were kind of considered like the TV versions of the New York Times, the
Yes.
news of the record, but for
Yes.
television. And
Yes.
now it's getting all
Everyone
that is going
knows.
to be owned by
You
two
you
dudes,
you
two
really
creepy
think
rich
yeah.
dudes.
Yes. Who are
Now,
sucking one guy's dick.
yeah, I mean, I guess that means my only bright side for me is, well, I guess I don't have to pay for Paramount Plus and HBO Max anymore.
Kind of
I kind
curious
of
now.
hope they keep the HBO Max name. I just think that's a much better brand name, but they won't.
No.
By the way, I didn't even mention the fact that, like, the fact that, like, when Discovery took over, they changed HBO Max to Max,
And then they
but
had changed
everyone
it
still
back.
called it HBO Max. I think that even shows in our earlier episodes where I was, like,
Yeah.
jokingly correcting you. It's like, nobody calls it that.
Yeah, no,
That's
no,
not
you
what
did
it's
that.
called, Tom. But, like,
Yeah.
everyone, and then they just changed it back. So, like, I don't know.
Well,
David Ellison, if you're listening, um, learn from that. Learn from that. That was the better brand.
Well, think about this now, since we talked about AT&T a little while ago. Will AT&T, people who have subscriptions to AT&T for their phone bills, will they get HBO Max for free now? That was a big part of AT&T. Like that's what me and my wife
Is
do.
that even still a thing?
Yes, my wife and I do not
Okay.
pay for HBO Max at all because of AT&T. That makes you think now how what's gonna go down.
They might do that with another phone
And
company provider.
it makes you think of everything happening because the thing about okay, we're not saying, I mean, I know you've talked about it, but for me, I know this. I wasn't happy with either merger way, Netflix or Paramount.
No, they were both bad. Like
They were both
mergers at
bad,
this point is bad for the industry.
especially this one for if everyone doesn't notice, let's say Netflix got it. The big thing that was my concern as a consumer of entertainment is I only have 17 days to see this film now in
Yeah.
theaters. You only had Netflix wanted to do a 17-day run in theaters worldwide
Yeah,
for
they
movie
wanted shorter
releases,
theatrical windows
and then
because
it's
they want.
back on the streaming. And I'm like this, dude. And we talked about it last season with
Yep.
Sinners. I only had 3 months to see Sinners in film. I didn't. And sorry, Sinners was only
In
out in
theaters.
theaters for 3 months. I waited when I found out that it was literally a month left before it was going to go on H. No, in May, I found out already. In July 4th, it'll be on HBO Max. I'm like, all right, well, I'll just wait then at this point. Like, there's no
Mm-hmm.
point. So now with a 17-day run, that's insanity because, like, what? The theater's always packed. I kind of like sometimes going to a non-packed theater. I like sometimes going to a non-chaos of rushing to see a film. But now with Paramount gonna own Warner Brothers, that's also a negative there because it's
Yeah,
owned.
no, it just means so much of our news media is going to be like, explicit pro corporate, pro, pro fascist bias.
Yes, it's
Um,
biased media now. Everything will. And if they bring out and remake, let's say Lord of the Rings, okay, what are you going to do with it now? What are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with all these, the Matrix, even everything? Like, what are you going to do with now all these IPs that are because we live in the world right now of remakes, rehashes, and 30-year-old sequels.
mhm.
What are you going to do? And what
I
are you going to
know.
push?
And since the Ellisons seem to be very ideologically driven on this, it makes me wonder how this will affect the stories that they put out in their film and television entertainment. You know, like when Fox was when like the Fox Film Studios were owned
Yeah,
by Rupert Murdoch, there was kind of an understanding that like, okay, Fox News is where you get the right wing bias crap, but it doesn't factor into
entertainment.
our entertainment. Rupert Murdoch's kind of like old fashioned in that respect. These guys are like a little
Nope.
more nuts. I mean, so
No, they just are just upfront about it, like, no, this is happening. Like, we're not
uh,
going to separate work and pleasure.
yeah, like
We shit where we
I'm
eat.
thinking like, oh God, how is this gonna fuck? How's this gonna fuck up Star Trek moving forward? Are
How's
they
it gonna
gonna?
how's it gonna
Uh,
fuck up everything moving forward, my man?
now here's some things to hang on to in terms of either hope or at least some silver linings. First of all, this doesn't just go through the federal government. This because all these industries, all these both these companies are in California.
Hmm.
The California Department of Justice has a unique role in dealing with this. And right now, our Attorney General, Rob Bonta, has been signaling he doesn't like this. He's been like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, he hasn't said, I will totally stop this. Well, he probably can't say that, but he's like, well, this needs to pass through scrutiny. Like, he has signaled he is like going hardcore on this. Also, he's up for re-election this November, and he's a point he gets into office through the
Ooh.
people's vote. He works for these people of California. He does not work for the governor. that's that's who hires him. So Miss Attorney General, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, keep going, because I'm putting a lot of thought in how I want to fill my ballot, buddy. So there's that to hang on to. I don't know. I mean, granted, I think I know the Ellisons don't care about like ratings at the moment for their new stuff, but I don't know how much longer that could last. Like or like, how bad could it get to with viewer drop off? Um, for
Yeah.
like, you know, a bunch of pissed off liberals and moderates not liking that their news is turning right wing. Um, you know, could something, or and also just the fact that Barry Weiss is going to control all of this, and there's been, you know, a lot of rumblings and rumors about like how fucking incompetent Barry Weiss is. I mean, you heard about the CCOT segment that 60 Minutes pulled
Oh yeah.
about that, about our
I mean,
little immigrant concentration camp in El Salvador, and she like pulled that segment last minute
yeah,
for explicitly politically motivated reasons. And we know that it was for politically motivated reasons because when they finally caved and re-aired the segment, nothing changed. The excuses they made. Well, you know, we wanted to get both sides from, you know, the government's point of view. It's like the government said no comment. The government didn't answer your calls. You
yeah.
published the fucking story. It's,
Yeah.
again, she's not a real reporter. That's
No.
why she never was. So I wonder, like, if how much that'll hurt and whether that endeavor will be fruitful. And I guess it depends on what they would consider fruitful. Um, Also, they're going to accumulate so much fucking debt. Like, I think it's like $90 billion in debt. Like, just between the two companies. So
Makes
it's
you think,
like,
hey,
you
hey,
really think this megacorp is going to stay like that for long? Warner Brothers Discovery couldn't last 3 years. They were
make
like 3 years in and they're like, this is too much for us.
makes you think what'll happen though, and if that 90 million suddenly disappears into a gets clean taken care of. You gotta
So,
think of everything when it comes to this now, folks.
mhm.
It's not just all like, oh yeah, that was a good movie to watch or show to watch, or I turn the channel. It's like, no, oh, mergers suck because no one was listening to George Carlin back in the 80s. No one listened. No one listened to the warnings of this shit. No one watched Network. This is what you fucking people get. This is no, really, really.
Network has aged. That's another movie everyone should watch. That movie has aged, even though it's so of the 70s. Like, there's some like
Yeah,
references that are dated,
there are references
but
that are
the
dated, but
spirit
this
that movie is aged so freaking well.
no, it is
I like
aged
don't want to watch it
scarily well.
again.
No, remember when I had you first watch it, how quiet you were?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was on Netflix. Remember, at the time, it was on Netflix when I had you watched it.
Hmm.
People don't understand, like our grandparents and parents did not pay attention to network and did not pay attention to various other comedians and other people who were influence, but specifically George Carlin because he had the jokes for this and he was talking about it. You fucking people weren't listening.
No, no.
No one was fucking listening or thinking, and it was just mindless entertainment and distractions. And look where we are now. We're an asshole who's sucking our president's cock, who's our president, as the angry conspiracy theorists also say, is sucking a different president's cock from across the Atlantic,
And also, his
owns
brain is melting, and he doesn't know what's
owns
happening half the
two
time.
big ass companies that have
Hmm.
a huge impact on American entertainment and pop culture and that have a big ass lore to them. This jackass owns Batman.
Yeah,
I don't know what's how this will. I mean, yeah, personally, I don't care because I'm not into it as much. But I don't how think about how this will affect the new DCEU
yeah,
in some way. Really, how this could
yeah.
affect
James
them.
Gunn is just getting started, and he already has a new boss,
And
or
he
he will have a new boss.
and this boss may say, "Fuck this little nerd," and then there goes everything. Like they're literally. And I'm not saying like, "Oh no, you don't get your Superman film." It's like it's not that, dude. It's that an asshole who runs on insane batshit crazy political ideas
It's just well,
is solely fueling this.
it's just continuous instability. Like, as I said, the AT&T merger was less than a decade ago,
Yeah.
and they've already gone through, like, Warner Brothers is about to go through its third merger in a
Hmm.
span of 10 years.
Yes.
Did that can't that's not stable.
It's not
See, at
stable.
least when Disney bought their shit, when they bought like Marvel, they kept Marvel. They held on to that. They made a lot of work out of Marvel. Same with Lucasfilm. They're holding on to Lucasfilm, and they will to the end of time.
And then
The
FX for Fox,
the
FX.
Fox and FX, yeah, it's like they got all these things. I mean, which is, I mean, not good in and of itself, but
No, it's not, but it
at least like the company is stable enough to where, like, the transition. I mean, I'm not saying there weren't layoffs there too. There were, and it was terrible. Um,
but there won't
but
be
it just
further
like it just
layoffs.
from like a broader economic view, like Disney is a more stable brand than any of these. And it's like, I would just like I'd much rather work for Disney because I know that
I'll have
Disney's
a
gonna
job.
stay the
At least
way
I'll
it
have a
is.
job. I'll have a job. That's what it comes
Yeah.
down to. Okay, let's take away how you feel politically about this. Let's focus on, like you said, the economics. It's like there's going to be so many layoffs because of this merger right now. And
Hmm.
there'll be further layoffs too. And there'll be the idea that you have a guy who says we're going to make 30 films a year in this market. You know how many people are going to lose their jobs through this crap?
Hmm.
You know how many actors are going to just stay away and go to other places for stability of a check? And
Maybe.
that will affect people behind the scenes, the grip key, the craft services, PAs, the makeup artists. They need a living. They need to work. And when one studio owns two big ass corporations, what are you going to do? Make the same makeup artist for both films on different lots because it just saves money when you could have had four because it
I
just
mean,
feeds people?
God, I was at like I have a friend who works on like a sitcom. I'm not gonna say what, but I was at her birthday party recently, and I got to meet a lot of the people that she works with because she works in production for that sitcom. And let me tell you, like when you talk with them about the industry, it was depressing.
Yeah, they're in a
Like
tough
these people
time.
are employed, and they're probably going to keep being employed because I think the show is successful and it's going to continue for another season. But it's like these people were like when you actually talked about the industry, that when they wanted to talk about the state of the industry and kind of the prospects of everything, like it was depressing to talk to them because it's like just nobody there. It's like the industry is full of uncertainty. When I was in film school, my professors would say, we'd always say the industry would change every 10 years. Now it's changing every 6 months.
Yeah. Your industry is just still coming off that craziness of the writer's strike.
The writer's strike and then COVID the 3 years before.
And then the actors thing, and then also too now this big battle with how AI is with people's likeness because of video game actors and voice actors to the point where now I don't know if you saw this because we're talking about CNN for a moment. You know that little conversation at a small little like town hall that Timothy Chalamet and Matthew McConaughey had together? You hear about that?
No.
So they that happened about I think 2 weeks ago. And when you look at the look at the promotion for it, you're just like this. Oh, okay, this is just funny. Two guys who kind of have the same thing about it, body type, and also long hair. They're just gonna have a conversation. Matthew McConaughey has a long career. Timothy Chalamet is a hot item, and they're just gonna have a talk. And you're like, all right, that makes sense. When you look at the two side by side, it'd be the equivalent of if Russell Crowe was sitting down with Sean Connery
Okay.
to talk about, you know what I mean? No,
What
when
did
you
they talk about?
hold on, wait, I'm in there. You watch it. They're talking about their stuff, blah blah blah. But then they get to the point of AI. This is where you go like, you son of a bitch.
Oh no.
Keep in mind, folks, Matthew McConaughey and his buddies Woody Harrelson and Dennis Quaid want to make it Hollywood in Texas. Remember that. Keep that in mind. Yeah, they want to do Hollywood in Texas their own way. Matthew McConaughey is like this about AI, which again, we were talking about the writer strike, the actor strike, and the video game
Yeah.
actor strike with likeness. Accept it, folks. Literally, his whole little 5 minute ramble, which you can find on anyone on the internet, was accepted. Just what you need to do is just focusing on then being able to own yourself.
Doesn't
And
he
in my head,
literally isn't he literally a spokesperson for like an AI company, like the
yes,
those Salesforce commercials? Okay.
there
Well,
you
that,
go.
that makes
He was
sense.
basically saying, so what? Like you can't stop it, you can't fight it, accept it. Uh, you're just gonna have to, when your contracts come, just make sure you have a clause that says, "I own me 100%." And in my head, I'm like, this, you already own you. What is this? John Cena being having his name owned by Vince McMahon, where you now have to have a contract saying, if you use me in any way, shape, or form, you have to pay me something since I can't stop AI and I'm already technically doing like AI, you might as well have you need legal representation just to say if you use me in any way, I need a check. And it's like, that's where you want to go with this, McConaughey? After
Gross.
your career, after one, you are trying to make your own film studio in Texas because apparently you're done with Hollywood. So you're going to do your own Hollywood in Texas with two other actors who are like, I guess, out of touch mentally now when it comes to now when you think about AI, because you said Matthew McConaughey, spokesperson for the AI studio, he is saying like this, nothing you can do. Pandora's box is open. Accept it. Don't fight it. Just figure out how you can protect yourself and get money just with your likeness. And it's like,
God.
you don't want to
And
battle this in any way, shape, or form that
and this is relevant because Oracle definitely, I mean, they're a tech company, so like they definitely have their hands in the AI thing too.
if we
So
can,
you
I'm going to send you that link of that conversation. If we can put it in the link somewhere here for the description of this episode, really, folks, listen
mhm.
to that. It makes you go like this. Oh, I hope to God no one applies to that studio he's opening up. Listen to it, Travis. It's not
Mhm.
cool. It's really like, who the hell are you, dude?
It's so weird. Like that's the argument. You know it's bad when that's the argument they're using. That's like the argument everyone's kind of defaulting now. It's the future. It's just gonna happen.
Oh,
Well, it's just magically gonna happen. There's nothing you can do to stop it. It's like a tidal wave. It just happens. It's not
Travis,
like it's the result of human action or human invention and investment.
his delivery was so worse than what you're giving. It was more of like a, hey man, don't be a bitch about it. That
Smoked a
was his
do
tone.
smoked a doobie right before he talked, probably.
Literally. But at least the guy who hooks a doobie isn't a dick. He sounds like a dick when he explains it. You're literally hearing him go like,
I don't know. Ask my wife. She says I don't behave very well when I've had a little marijuana in my system. That's why I don't partake.
then maybe
I
that's it then.
keep my wife
Maybe
happy.
for but here's the thing though, that's what I'm saying. His delivery is like a dick saying, yeah, just don't be a bitch about it. That's literally his delivery during the speech. Don't be a
That's all they
bitch.
have.
I'm like, dude, like, did you not see what happened with the writer's strike?
Just for the
Did,
record, we don't use any AI in the production of the show. All the thumbnails, all the collage cheap style thumbnails, that's all made on by me on Google Drawings. I do not use AI, even though it
yeah.
might save me well, I would say it saved me a bunch of time, but um in my experience when I dabbled around with like AI image generation stuff just to see how it works, it never gets my prompt right.
No. Oh man, then
I just can't figure out the right prompt. I'm bad at it. Like, fuck you, I'll do it myself.
yeah.
Actually do it myself. You know?
I wonder if this guy and how this is going to go now for the future once this gets fully cemented in. Regard, who knows
If it
with
gets
this
fully cemented
if
in,
it gets
yeah.
in, but it's like it's more it makes you it's the equivalent of when you go grocery store shopping and you find out like seven companies own all the food. It's like
Hmm.
whoa, whoa,
Yep.
why? And the problem with okay, problem with mergers and getting closer to monopolies is this: when you have 30 companies, there's competition, and that competition keeps everyone straight. When you only have, let's say, 3 to 4 companies owning everything, you know what those 3 to 4 companies are doing? You think they're battling each other? No, those
No.
3 to 4 CEOs are going to go meet up somewhere secret and high end with steaks and fucking bottles of scotch and go like this. Hey, who's setting it at 4? We want all set at 4. Okay, we're all setting it at 4. Hey, are we going to think about safety, health, and OSHA guidelines? Nah, fuck that, right? Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it, fuck it,
Yeah.
fuck it.
Yeah,
Hey,
well, or if anything, like even if even if there's like even taking a conspiracism out of it, it's like they're just, you know, they're just going to copy each other.
no, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're not
If
going
it's like
to
if you have like
battle
30
each other.
companies, if it's a wide market,
They're going to battle each other.
it prompts, that's where the whole capitalism breeds innovation thing actually could actually have meaning, because it's like, okay, someone I am one of 30 companies. I need to stand out.
Exactly.
But they're all the tallest tree. Like there's only four
If
trees and they're all
if there's
super
only four
tall.
trees, they're not going to fight each other. They're going to work together to keep it at 4 trees.
Hmm.
Because if there's only 4 of you left, it's easier for you to survive and just say, "What's the price point? Here's the price point. What's our check? Here's our check. How many people are you using? That's okay. That's how many people are using." They're going to copy each other because they're working together to copy each other because that is how you keep it going, the money train. If one of those 4 just said, you know what, fuck this, I'm going to do my thing, those 3 would attack and eat them.
And it increases the hostility of like trying things different, because if you
They're just
try
going to get
like
more
an
rehashes.
experimental if you try an experimental original movie and it bombs, you're out of a job.
Yep. We talked about that too with like why a lot of producers, executive producers aren't pushing more new films. Vince Vaughn said it. Well, so you don't get fired. You can literally say, hey, I just followed the formula of this rehash
Hmm.
from 28 years ago. It failed. Well, I followed the formula. You can't fire me. Instead of saying, hey, I got a brand new idea. It didn't work well, dude. Like you didn't make it. But it was like only 5 million short. Like we can do it. Like, no, no, no. Bye bye.
Yeah.
You don't get you're gonna get because of this, you said it right there. Because of this, we're gonna get more 30, 40-year-old sequels, more remakes, more rehashes, more reboots. We're gonna hey, fuck, we're
More
gonna
slop.
get SpongeBob, hanging out with Ben 10 for no fucking reason.
I wish there was a call to action. Um,
Too
I
much
don't
going
know.
on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what would that be.
So,
I
what?
just
Delete your
I mean,
subscription?
yeah,
Uh,
what, delete your subscription, I guess. But I don't know. Is
yeah,
there
try telling. Here's an idea with that. Try telling a parent, "Hey, stop watching Paw Patrol. Good luck. Good luck."
but all the Star Trek is on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
They
like,
got
okay, then I guess I
you
should
know
go
what? You said it
go find some
perfectly.
DVDs.
No, but you said it though. Call to action. Well, when there's only 3 to 4 companies owning everything, I'm gonna miss out on a quarter of
Yeah,
everything. It's like food. Oh, boycott Ralph's. I grocery shop. I need to eat. It's that
yeah.
equivalent. You can't. And that's how you fight boycotts. That's how you get a one up on boycotts and people trying to protest is just like, all right, well, what are you going to watch then? You lost a quarter of entertainment.
Well, it's a dour note, but I hope you guys enjoyed the lengthy history lesson. I didn't realize this would go so long.
It's been, I think, two
Holy
hours. Is this
shit.
two
Yeah.
hours?
This
Hey,
is
I
two
had fun.
hours.
I had fun. Fuck it. Hey, history lessons are great once in a while.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway,
Is that us? Is
the
that?
history of Hollywood is fascinating. And
Yep.
I
And
hope
look,
you
read
got an
it.
understanding of how we got here, you know?
Please, folks. It's good to know the history of the stuff you're consuming. Like, if you don't want to sit down and read stuff, like for example, how Travis and I have through books and articles, there are TV shows that we, throughout this episode, said that give you a little taste.
Yep.
of like what it was like back then. Hail Caesar gives you a little taste. It's comedic for sure, over the top, but gives you a taste.
Yep.
By the way, Josh Brolin, the guy he plays, that's based off a real person who was a fixer. And guess what? In real life, he was brutal,
Mhm.
brutal, very
Yep.
mafiosa.
Yeah.
So yeah, folks, there you go. Let's see what happens. That's all we can do with this one. I mean, I hope it doesn't. I really just hope they don't sell in general. No one should buy this.
Remember to curse the names of Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton. Those guys, probably more than anything, were responsible for this conglomeration mess we're in.
Yeah, stop. Please stop seeing Clinton as that cool guy with the saxophone on Arsenio Hall. Just
Yeah,
stop.
and
Stop.
see him for the corrupt pedophile that he is, along with the current president.
And that Reagan was a douchebag. He wasn't this
Yeah,
fun cowboy
and
actor.
also mentally handicapped in the way our current president is.
And cucked, because we all saw who's his wife was sitting on that one Christmas time.
Yeah.
Uh, this is Give Us the Launch Codes. Again, folks, we love you for always tuning in. Please spread the word to your friends and family. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, the platform formerly known as Twitter. We're on YouTube, so instead of always listening to our silky smooth voices, you can look at our ugly mugs. Please subscribe.
Yeah. My haircut. Yeah.
It looks nice. It looks really good on you, dude.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go wild man for like a while. I'm just gonna go wildebeest.
Ooh.
Caveman
Okay.
for I think I'm gonna see if I can get to July with this.
Good luck.
But please follow, subscribe, notification button, everything you need to do to help us grow. And we're going for the throne because we want this to be our career. So we're hitting it hard. And also too, Patreon, please,
Yeah,
$5 a month.
Yeah, we got some exclusive stuff you can watch, you can listen to.
And please tune in because on our Patreon we have a brand new exclusive, don't we, Travis? We're getting into literature.
We got a new Fuck It coming out, but you can only listen to it on Patreon.
Our first Fuck It of the season is an exclusive on Patreon. Just $5 a month, folks. We're trying to grow bigger, get more of a crew. We want a bigger crew too.
Yeah, we'd like to expand and do more of this. Please, please subscribe.
Please
$5 a month. That's all we ask.
$5. I'm Tom.
I'm Travis.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye, folks. That's what I should have said. Hey! There we go. Da 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 da.
Isn't a pineapple under the sea?